Troy Baker, what a
great guy.
What a lovely gentleman.
He makes me feel a little incompetent, doesn't it?
He makes me feel like if I were to
makes me feel a little ugly.
He makes me feel ugly. That's a good way to put it.
It's not even the beauty factor of how beautiful the man is. It's the fact that he is just an ocean of interesting details.
Yeah.
I asked him why he choked up at the song, and I thought, it reminded me of my grandmother or something like that.
Yeah.
It's this incredibly detailed story about Paris and this whole traumatic
He's an
life.
artist.
The Notre Dame.
Through and
I know.
through.
Yeah. God,
What's
we're
crazy
just
too?
sitting here talking about G.I. Joes usually.
He comes in and he talks about bourbon for like a half hour. Then he starts talking about watches with Nick.
Yeah, he's very well.
I lost track of time.
He's a renaissance man.
He is a renaissance
man. And I really appreciate him.
I do too. I love Troy Baker.
I love that. I was like, I guarantee Troy Baker's going to do an amazing Christopher Walken. And I just said it, and he just went into it. And it was like, you guys can't hear because you're not, well, you can hear, but you're not hearing it in the headphones.
Hey.
It's spot on. Like, if you close your eyes, it sounds like anything he's done in the last, I don't know, 20 years. It's Walken. Very talented individual. Stupidly talented. Makes me hate him.
I wanted to ask him when he makes his new record if I can do drums or percussion on one of his songs.
You should.
I'm gonna email him.
I want to drop a hot verse.
I want to be the guy that
Jeff Goldblum on piano.
I want to be like, what was his producer's name? John what?
Yeah.
I want to be that guy because I want to just sit on the couch and chill out and then go into the forest and have like a moment. I didn't get a chance to ask him, Troy, what drug goes best with this crazy like hallucination album that he's made.
Oh, his concept album?
Yeah.
Sitting in the Fire, available now everywhere. And
I'm guessing
TroyBaker.net.
opium. Do you think opium?
That's a hard drug. Probably mushrooms.
Do you think shrooms?
Yeah, let's say
Comet
mushrooms
cleaner.
go.
I think he's clean. I think we're just,
reading into it.
Reading
Just like,
into it.
well, a lot of people do that.
We're not saying that Troy Baker does drugs. We're
I'm saying
saying what drug accompanies the album.
What pairs well with
there
the
you
album.
go.
Yep.
Like, you know how when you
Coca-Cola.
have
You don't
wine
know.
and
Yeah, I was going to say
cheese-
pure one. You have no idea. You haven't lived the life.
Drugs
we've
are bad,
lived.
okay?
Have
They
you
are
ever
bad.
had 2 Advil? I'll tell you what.
Damn. I stay away from
Get
it.
I accidentally
buzzed.
took 4 the other night to go right to the emergency room.
So we rushed through the
Stomach
intro,
bumps.
of course, because we had to rush. We want to make sure we got as much time with Troy for you, the viewer, as possible. I do want to double back to something that's important. You may have noticed. I'm sure you've been commenting in the comments below. We're using the old mics.
Ooh, they're back.
We heard you loud and clear that the lapels are great for the live stream because there's only 2 of us. But when we do the lapels for the 4-man streams, it doesn't work out that well, at least in this room because it's echoey.
Yeah, this room's not exactly. This room for a sound engineer is a nightmare. Weird angles, low ceiling, like just an open closet, a window,
an entire wall of glass.
Yeah, like it's just like
Greg's
holy
in it,
shit.
screaming.
What's
I
funny
do.
is the open closet actually maybe helps out a little bit because the clothes at least
Yeah, it's damp. It's dampened, but
Damp and dank.
Damn.
But
yeah, you guys will hear. I mean, we talked about this, and as we do everything, we vote, and then whoever just gets loudest probably usually wins. We had a nice civil discussion about this, and we decided we'd go back to it. And now listening to you guys through these headphones again,
Arguably.
it's no contest.
yeah.
It's
So
one
we
of the-
we
it
do it.
doesn't
I
go
mean, we
with
sincerely apologize.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, it's one of those, for a long time people had talked about our faces getting
Right.
hidden, but then when our faces were exposed, I don't think anybody was like thinking it was that much better.
Yay!
Yeah, they were like, "Hey, we'd rather be able to."
We'd
hear you
rather
and
be
not
able
have
to-
You know
it
what?
sound
Go
like
back behind the
muffled
mic.
You know what? We
shit.
try. Well, God, I didn't know Colin's beard looked like that. Pull it back. Pull it back a bit.
Also, I feel like we're doing so much content now that features us outside of the room
Sure.
that it's okay to have one piece of content go up a day that looks like we all have giant comical mouths.
Right.
You know,
No
which
mouths.
is fine.
Well, we're
I'm
not blocked at all.
You
No
and I
face.
aren't.
We're fine.
Well, I get up here a lot.
But
Colin,
now you gotta
Colin
deal with
rides
my
it. Colin
back
gets
fat
right in
issue.
there.
I don't like
this
this
is
right
how you
here.
use the microphone.
Yeah.
That's always been.
But I sound good. Well,
You sound
I'm
great.
really loud, so that's probably.
Yeah, you
me getting back away from it's a good idea.
I was gonna say you enunciate, but that's not true. You project.
Yeah, I project a lot.
You do. When you get loud, by the way, it literally sounds like someone slammed into my ears,
I'm sorry.
and I like it. It wakes me up.
I've often
Stabs
thought,
you with
like,
needles.
it's one of those things back at IGN when we do Let's Plays and people would yell at me that I'm too loud. It's when they would give me the headset and leave it cranked up that I would be quieter. And I mean, that'd probably be the easiest way to rein me in because I just don't know.
Well, that's what happened to Tim on
It's
the
fun.
first episode of the
Oh
Gamescast.
yeah, my God.
And that's the thing that people have to get. That's the thing people have to get used to. I mean, we've talked about it on the. Well, actually, no, we didn't talk about it on the show. Like, I was talking last week about how I think I have tinnitus because I played drums for years without ear protection.
Yeah.
And that was the same thing. It's like I need to hear myself playing, and when I have my headphones on or noise cancels, I don't feel like I'm being loud enough because I'm not. So it's like a weird. It's like a weird kind of. You need to hear yourself. That's why all musicians are fucking.
It was the weirdest thing though. The first episode of Gamecast, when I had the headphones on, I just couldn't be me. Like I was just like,
It takes
a
a little-
super constrained. I was like, oh,
It takes
I
a
was all
lot
timid and
of
shit.
getting
Timid.
used to. You were
Timid.
Yeah,
timid.
can't spell timid without Tim.
You'll
shit.
get it. I mean, you're gonna do it. We're doing another one tomorrow. We'll put you on the board. This board sounds better, by the way. And you can actually just turn down the monitors a little bit so you can't really hear yourself.
Turn down for what?
Turn down for what? But I recommend it. It's actually interesting because I've noticed since I started doing this podcast, my dad actually noticed. He was watching the other day and he was like, "You because normally I speak so quickly and I kind of mumble a little bit.
Yeah.
He's like, when you're on camera, you speak. I enunciate a lot better and I slow down my speech a little bit, and it's because I can hear myself.
Gotcha.
It's crazy. It's like speech therapy, so to speak.
I did a business call today for Kind of Funny with a business partner or a business that wants to partner with us.
Mm-hmm.
And the woman on the other end of the phone isn't really in our industry, but she's seen me at events before, like when I host panels. And so I was just rambling about what we do and how we do it. And she's just like, wow. And I'm like, I know, it's impressive, right? And she's like, no, you talk like that all the time.
Yeah.
I thought you just talked, that was like your persona on stage.
No,
but no,
that's
that's
the
how you
thing.
talk. I'm like, yeah, it is.
What business? Should we just call it Business X for now?
Oh yeah, that's
Business
cool.
X.
Business X.
Business X.
Business X CEOY.
Nick, what's your topic?
My topic usually comes from the community, guys, and I'm sorry this time I'm gonna actually do one of my own.
Yo,
Remember,
fuck you, community.
If you have topics,
Gave
for the
us all
show,
those G's. Now we're out. No,
I've got
I've
got all your topics. I've got a list of them. Remember, tweet at me, Nick_Scarpino. If you have topics for the show, please put GOG topic in the subject line.
If you
or
want
in
to
the
see us
tweet.
sponsored by Portillo's, tweet
love
at
Nick.
Nick Scarpino, no underscore.
No underscore.
He
But
loves
please-
that. I heard he was really into that.
He's super into it.
Dude,
loves it.
he loves it.
He's probably
just,
got at least 100 Twitter followers. From us.
Yeah, he's just playing some goofy thing. Everybody talks to me about it too. When they when I did my final up at noon with Troy the other day, I was talking to the audience and they were like, "That's crazy." And I'm like, what? And it's the fact that there's a Nick Scarpino. The world's so small for you guys that the other Nick Scarpino gets hired by your favorite restaurant. I'm like, I know.
It's just it's
Things
kismet, as
happen,
they
man.
say. So I'm going to be a little selfish this time, and I'm going to do one of my own topics, and it's a topic I've wanted to do for a very, very, very long time. I want to talk about film, and I want to talk specifically about what were the best movies of 2014. Let's crank it back. Let's
I love
rewind
this.
it.
I'm
Let's
rewinding
rewind
the
it.
film.
Unpack it.
That's
And
putting
let's unpack this.
Unpack all the
I
shells
just
of the
watched
film.
the Golden Globes. Now, the Golden Globes, as everyone knows, used to be kind of a joke. Now it is sort of like a feeder to the Oscars. So if you win a Golden Globe, people are saying, oh, you're a shoo-in to get an Oscar. Sometimes it doesn't work out that way, but most of the time it does. So it reminded me of all the great films that have come out this year. You got films like Inception. You've got films...
Inception did not come out this year.
Not Inception, excuse me. Interstellar. Why do I always get those two confused?
I was gonna say, wow, that came out that last year. I thought I saw that like 3 years
Gone
ago.
Girl.
Like it was that
You've
and
got
Anaconda.
Gone Girl. So I wanted to go around the table and ask. I mean, it doesn't have to be critically acclaimed films, just films that stuck out for you in 2014. And maybe we'll do another topic on next week's show when we've done a little research and figured out what we're excited about for 2015, because we're at the beginning of that year as well.
Yes.
But just right now, specifically,
Avengers 2. That's what I'm
Furious
excited for.
7 is
Fuck that.
definitely number one.
Still haven't seen
And then
6 'cause I'm a
Furious
friend.
7, Star Wars 7, and then it could be other stuff.
Is
in
Star Wars
that
this year?
order.
Didn't he ask which was
I
the
didn't pay
favorite
attention.
movie first, though?
Yeah, but we
What's
just
your
jumped to the interesting part of the conversation.
all right, well, I mean, we can talk about
What
that,
was
but-
last year's favorite movie?
For me, it's Gone Girl. I
Yeah,
have
I
to
like
give it
that
to
a
that. Like Guardians was really great, and
Guardians was this year.
like Guardians was fun. It was a lot of fun. But like Gone Girl, I went into it knowing absolutely nothing, which
Yeah.
is the only way to go into
Yeah.
that. And
You and everyone else that saw Guardians.
Exactly.
Because
The-
no one read that comic book.
no, Gone
He was
Girl.
talking about Gone
Oh,
Girl.
Gone Girl.
Yeah, I read Guardians going into it.
Before
Anyways,
the movie came out, you're like, I gotta know everything about this.
Gone
so I can
Girl.
do Easter eggs.
went into it and I'm like, whatever, it's gonna be okay. And I was blown away by it. I was like so into it, so intrigued. It reminded me a lot of Death Note, which, as you all know, I enjoy quite some bits. This anime,
quite good.
and it's similar in a lot of ways, just in the way it's set up and just like how the story develops and all the twists and stuff. And oh man, I was just the entire time I was engaged. I had no idea what was happening
Yeah.
next, and I wanted to know what was going to happen. And it was great. I loved it. And like some people are upset with the ending. I have a feeling this topic might get a little spoilery, so unless we hold back from that. But
Does anyone care out there?
About Gone Girl?
Yeah.
I care. I mean,
Okay.
I haven't seen it.
Oh yeah.
But
okay.
so a lot of people are upset with
Preferably.
the end. I'm not upset with the end at all.
Nah,
I thought
me
it was
neither.
totally fine.
Yeah.
My question to
It's
people,
an upsetting end.
yes, exactly.
But,
it's
I wasn't
supposed
like,
to be.
oh, what is this
Yeah,
garbage?
but my
It's
thing with
supposed
that
to be
is, it's whenever people say stuff like that, I always am like, what would you have rathered? And I know it's not their job to come up with that, but no one's ever given me a good answer. It's always just like
the only reason, without getting super spoilery, that I was upset with the ending was because it had a few leaps of logic that I just couldn't wrap my head around.
fair enough.
And that was my only. And Sean Finnegan and I got into this where he was like, "No, I think they set it up well," and they did set it up well, but it wasn't the sort of this. It's not really a twist at the end. It just kind of ends in a weird and
Yeah.
odd way.
It ends in a checkmate.
Yeah,
The
where-
end is fine. I'd say that like the
build
leading
up to
into
that,
the very, very
you're
end,
like,
it's
why
like there's
would
no
it-
way
no,
that would
there's no
happen
way.
in real life.
And
Whereas
so-
the rest of the movie was so realistic,
right.
where it could have happened.
And so that's that's the only flaw with that film. I liked Ben Affleck in it. I liked Rosamund Pike.
Aliens.
Liked Aliens.
I was ruining the movie
Yeah.
for him.
Oh yeah, it ends with
Everything's
aliens.
totally normal. There's this investigation.
actually-
It's a
and they
spin-off
just-
of Aliens.
It is a prequel to Fire in the Sky,
Nice.
which is crazy.
It turns out at the end it happened in the same Independence Day universe, and this is the prequel to
Whose
Eyes
butts are
Out.
they probing in?
it was all happening in DB Sweeney's butt.
Oh, okay.
The whole,
that's
the
interesting.
entire movie
Yeah.
happens in his
Small
in his
aliens.
anus, in his orifice.
Small aliens.
Small aliens. That movie was phenomenal. Though. That actually took me by surprise too. My wife is one of those people who reads the book every single time and then proceeds
Before?
to tell me, yeah, she reads a ton. And so what happens is she finds the book, reads it, and then a year or two later they're like,
Yeah.
oh, we're making a movie out of this. She goes, no. So she's always that person that's like, the book was better. The book was better. The book was better. I'm like, just tell
The
me what
book's
happened.
almost always better.
In this one, she was like, this is pretty spot on though.
Well, I
She was
heard
like,
that.
this is exactly
So
what happened.
the writer of the book, Gillian Flynn.
Sure. Jillian, maybe?
Jillian. I don't know. I'm stupid.
To Gillian on her 37th birthday. It's Jillian.
Jillian.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, anyway, so she was one of the screenwriters. Like, so she actually worked
Yes.
on the movie version. So there was changes, but they were her changes.
Yeah.
So that's why it holds up.
Which is clutch, and that's never the case.
Yeah.
They very, very seldom let the actual author work as the screenwriter.
This is why I hold out hope for the Last of Us movie. Neil Druckmann's there.
He is
He's
there.
making sure it happens. He's got a big bushy
well, it's
beard.
his IP.
All right, so Gone Girl, definitely on the list for me. Guardians, I had a great time, but I would never sit there and be like, it was the best movie I saw.
That's the
this year.
thing. Like, I wouldn't either. But as soon as you asked that question,
That's what popped in your head?
Yeah, it popped in my head. So
Yeah.
gotta
Interstellar,
give it a
I
mention.
think I would love, but I never saw it because they just won't put it on demand yet.
I
Just get it
Interstellar,
on
I haven't
demand.
seen
it either.
It was good. It wasn't Gone Girl to me. Like, it was good. I really liked it. There's a half hour of that movie that I fucking hate. I think it's garbage and it doesn't make any sense.
It's a Nolan movie.
But it's weird because it's not the
There's
last
always-
half hour. It's not the first half
No.
hour. It's just a random half hour.
There's the spot from there's a few problems with that film. And I've noticed this about Nolan is that Nolan is not a perfect filmmaker, and there is no such thing as a perfect filmmaker. There's no such thing as a perfect artist, right? There's no such thing as a
Mike
perfect
Oransky.
game. Mike Oransky is amazing. Phobia, check it out. It's in Walgreens. No, Walmart.
I really hope it's in
I was like, dude, it'd be
Walgreens.
dope if it was in Walgreens. I was like, oh, it's right next to the Lucky Charms. But I just sort of take Nolan at what he does, and he's a grand storyteller. And some parts of those stories, I'm just gonna be like, this is a little weird. It can't be. It's a 3-hour epic, so at some point you're gonna be like, so we had a lot of character development at the beginning. Then right around the second act, all of a sudden they do like a little quick training montage, and this dude that hasn't trained to be an astronaut in like 20 years,
He's just chilling.
boom, we're up. We're
Yeah.
up. Like we got that awesome IMAX shot of the ring, like the. Colin, you got to watch this movie because you would love this. They have the beautiful shots of the ship breaking apart as it's going into the stratosphere and like the outer atmosphere and things like that. And you're like, okay, they're in space, and then
All of a sudden,
they're at the.
there's
thing.
a celebrity homie guest appearance. that
Yeah,
we're
well,
not
that-
gonna
well,
spoil.
Let
I'm
me
gonna
spoil
spoil
everything here.
It's
Now.
like,
Come
what?
on.
That was weird.
Now this sounds just. I mean, it sounds a lot like Dark Knight Rises. Here's a montage of Bruce Wayne getting his groove back after getting the robot leg and all this other crap. And it's like, wait a second, you couldn't walk around a second ago.
He likes to.
But it was that without the montage. There was no montage.
Yeah, he just kind of is.
He
in
just went to
space.
space.
I thought you just said there was astronaut montage.
No, there's
There's
like
not, though.
one.
I'm just
second.
saying, I don't watch this movie. I don't know what's
There's
happening.
the obligatory Nolan. Hey, this movie is really complex, so we're going to show you 5 quick kind of montagey like scenes where we explain the science behind all this.
Gotcha.
Right. So they're in the boardroom, and they're like, oh no, something put this black hole here. We know there's something on the other side of it. We've sent people there before. We haven't got in contact with them. Then they're like walking around. There's 3 planets we have to go to. Then they're like chilling at the snack bar, like eating the Snickers. And the guy and like Michael Caine's like,
They're not
well,
eating
you got to leave your daughter behind. And he's like, so basically the entire movie is told in these like this little vignette.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Then we go to space, and some weird shit happens.
Yeah, don't tell me about it.
Really weird shit happens.
Do they
but
find
it's
Jodie
so
Foster?
Beautifully filmed. They do not. No.
What
they
if
do not
that
make
was the
contact.
crossover?
The weird thing is what they're gonna find is that she fell right through to the ground, but there was 18 minutes of static on the video, and
This
that
man
is
knows-
the
this
big
man
that is the
knows
big problem with what-
Contact.
another story where the book is better than the movie, but the movie was awesome. Carl
movie was
Sagan.
pretty cool.
Carl Sagan, what?
Carl saying what?
I'll say what. Tim, do me a favor. That's bugging me. Just move that Velcro strap down so it doesn't look like your cord has a penis.
This thing there. Move it down.
Just move it. Just scoot
or
it down. a little
roll
bit.
it together.
That's fine.
Here's what I want to talk about for 2014 movies.
Mm-hmm.
For me, as someone who doesn't watch movies often, it was finally the year of the digital movie, where I finally got to watch everything on
Mm-hmm. you watch The
on the
Interview?
demand. I still haven't watched The Interview. I don't watch a lot of movies here.
What's
Stick
funny
with
is
me.
you get what you ask for.
I know.
North Korea hacked our Sony.
Yeah,
Instead
Hacked our
of
Sony.
hacked our Sony.
and they are our Sony.
They hacked a major motion picture studio,
Yeah.
and this big movie. Did you guys watch the Golden Globes at all?
No.
No.
Amy Poehler and Tina Fey had a great joke about the interview where she was like, and we all had to pretend like we were going to go see it.
Yeah.
None of us actually saw it, but they get hacked. It comes out day and date on digital. Like 2 days later, it's
Yep.
already on Xbox. It's on it's everywhere you want to be, and
Yep.
you still don't watch it.
Yeah, but that's not what he wanted, though. It's another movie. You know,
No,
if it was X-Men.
Here's the
that'd be
problem that
different.
I'm sure you can attest to in this.
Yeah.
Colin to an extent too. Tim not because he's the pure one. The problem with watching movies is that I'm in a committed relationship. Which means when I do have 2 hours
Right.
where I'm like, I want to watch not a video game. I want to have somebody, like I was talking about on Colin and Greg Live today. I want something to speak at me. I don't want to speak to it.
Right.
I have to go through the queue, and my queue is stacked with movies I want to see,
Yeah.
but that Christine has no interest. She doesn't want to see the interview. She doesn't want to see Snowpiercer. She doesn't want to see Dallas Buyers Club. So it's like, well, whatever.
It's
then.
so frustrating because I have that problem too, where I'm like, oh, there's this great documentary. You want to watch this movie? And no, I just want to watch The Good Wife.
Yeah, see,
like,
I feel
all right,
like
that's fine.
I need to get
Great.
with Steimer because then me and Steimer can just watch Spice World over and
I've
over.
thought about that actually.
Yeah,
trading
just
her off
trading
to
off?
you. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
We have similar tastes.
I'm sure she would much rather trade me for you as well.
just
too.
for
Yeah.
Spice World.
No,
make it worth
just
it.
for
Just
you.
generally.
You're younger. You're
There's
hotter.
there's a
you
quote
got
in
more
that
going
movie.
for you.
It said, "Hold on to your knickers, girls," and then they start driving the bus fast. Classic.
There's aliens in that movie. Spice World's a weird movie.
Spice
It's a
World
really
is
weird
weird.
movie. It's got Roger Moore in it though.
But I
right?
watched a lot of stuff on demand. Here's the thing: now that everything's on demand, this is something I never did in the video store, and I would never do with a movie theater. Is that I take chances now.
Yeah.
Christine and I will sit there. We will go through Amazon. We will pack the watch list with things we watch the trailers for, and it's like, what if with Daniel Radcliffe? I'm like, oh, that could be good.
a
Whatever.
cute movie.
Yeah,
It's a good
exactly.
movie, actually.
And then like Ruby Sparks. Now this isn't a 2014 movie, but to me they are. This is one of the big things, right? Ruby Sparks we drop in there. That looks interesting. You know,
Right.
Life After Beth. Which there's not a chance in hell I would have seen, you know what I mean?
Right.
But it's like a rom-com zombie movie or whatever with Aubrey Plaza.
But you won't watch That's My Boy. You still won't watch That's My Boy.
You've never invited me back to watch.
Well,
That's
you
My
said
Boy.
no once to That's My Boy. It's not like I'm
It
going to assume
lost
that
in
you're.
a vote in the living room.
God.
I had chemo
This
too.
is
I
one of
had
the
chemo
stories of this
brain.
household.
I had chemo brain. Wasn't thinking clear.
No, you clearly weren't
What
thinking
did
clear
it
because
lose
you even
to,
watched.
Little Nicky?
It
No,
lost.
we went to no. It lost to Rock of Ages.
Oh shit.
And I was sitting here. I'm like, let's watch the trailer. And it's so funny with the new Kids on the Block tattoo and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, this is great. It's great, Adam Sandler. And they're like, oh, you want to watch Rock Ages? I'm like, all right, I'm out. And they enjoyed
Yeah.
it. I'm like, how was that, guys? You
was
glad
terrible.
you
It was
didn't,
really bad.
you didn't watch That's My Boy? Had a few laughs. Guy gets nailed with a baseball, I think, in one part of the movie.
Probably.
There's always the baseball. There's always the baseball bat to the nuts in every
Yeah.
Adam Sandler
Yeah, yeah.
movie. It's a
So,
classic.
That was a rare Greg Miller miss.
Yeah. Oh, not as rare as you might think. But speaking of which, by the way, Greg and I were watching Happy Gilmore a week or two ago, and Billy Madison I watched a few days ago. It was on TV. Man, those movies are still so really
Madison.
good.
So good.
Now here's the best movie of last year, and it came out at Christmas 2013, so I'm going to allow it.
Sure. I'll allow it.
Wolf of Wall Street. Now I just
Yeah.
saw it not too long ago,
on
and that
Netflix.
movie is fantastic.
Such a good movie.
First of all,
I still haven't seen it, so I'm gonna have to pull the spoiler.
Oh yeah, no,
There's a lot of hot naked
spoilers.
women in
You
it.
cannot
No spoilers.
spoil this
I'll
movie.
tell you
Okay,
that much of it
okay.
takes place on Long Island, which gives it many extra
Get the
points.
points.
Yeah.
My girlfriend and I were watching because we watched Django Unchained, which I never seen, and then the next day we watched The Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh, you're
and
living.
I was like, because I'm trying to catch up on kind of the staples that I
Yeah,
missed. And because I really am trying to make an attempt to see many more films this year as they come out, as opposed to like going back. And man, Leonardo DiCaprio is just. I really feel like the best actor
He's that dude.
of our time. Like I really feel that way. Like he's incredible. And when I think about him on Growing Pains, and I think about him even in Titanic, and like everyone just thought he was hot and he was handsome. Or Romeo and Juliet, like when
Right.
everyone's like, oh, he's just so hot, he's like kind of a heartthrob, like JTT
Yeah.
or something like that. Never in the '90s did I ever think that this guy was gonna be the
That guy.
seminal
The
actor of our
defining
time.
actor, yeah.
The same thing with I always forget his name. I don't know why I always forget his name. The guy that was in Third Rock from the Sun, and now he's like
Joseph
Gordon-Levitt.
Like he's another
Yeah.
guy where I'm like he's just a character in this random
he has
sitcom.
long hair. That's cute.
And like
he's-
now he's like an amazing broad
Don John.
actor. That movie was weird. I saw that movie. That movie was
It was,
fucking weird.
it was a little weird. But if he's in a great film called Brick, if you get a chance to see it, it's Ryan
Brink?
Johnson. Brick.
I know
No, not Brink.
it's a long-going Finnegan joke. He's
Jeez
watching.
Louise.
He'll appreciate it.
If you get a chance,
Premium
I don't
Rush?
think it's on Netflix anymore, but Brink. Shit.
yes.
Brick is an amazing film. It's Ryan Johnson's first film. He's not first film. I think he did Brothers Bloom first, but then he did Brick,
Brick's
and
the
then he
one-
did Looper.
The one about rollerblading.
No, Brick's the one with like the kids.
It's a film noir.
right?
It's a
got-
noir film in high school about
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's got
like
the
criminals.
hand is the cover, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Looper I liked. That was the one
I did
about
like
the
Looper.
that was the one about the kid that like went crazy, right, with his superpowers.
He had superpowers, yeah.
But then he went
Spoilers.
like nuts.
Well, he was going to become a bad guy, and Bruce Willis.
The one with his
It's
dad
time
and all that
travel,
kind of.
It's Joseph Gordon-Levitt versus Bruce Willis, and they're both the same person from different time.
Oh,
No,
no, maybe.
Chronicle?
Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of.
Chronicles.
Sorry,
That's-
I was
That's Dane DeHaan.
Shout out to Max
That's how he
Landis.
got- That was a good one.
Yeah,
He's
I
coming
saw
on the
that
show
one
eventually.
randomly in the movie there. Also, one of the best movies of 2014 is, and it's still, and it didn't even come out in 2014.
Lincoln.
Is obviously The Dark Knight Rises. Now, I'm gonna take issue with you saying Christopher Nolan's a flawed filmmaker, and he might.
He's a
be.
great filmmaker.
He might be. Well, he's got just like everyone. He's got his
He's
flaws,
got.
right?
I'm saying he doesn't make a perfect film.
But the Dark Knight Rises was so perfect that it actually became the best movie of 2014, in addition to being the best movie of 2013, and it was even the best movie of 2012.
if
somehow.
you had to pinpoint one character, one character arc in that
Right.
film that really kind of nailed and like hammered it home for you,
Right.
who would it be?
Bane, and I'm going to tell you why.
Why is that?
Because it all started in the very beginning on the plane,
Yeah.
and when they
from
have
small
the
beginnings.
they have the bag over his head.
Yeah.
And they're asking him if he talks and he has anything to say, and they take the bag off, and he basically goes into his whole diatribe about that they didn't care about him until he put on the
They didn't
mask,
care about him.
and that that they needed to find someone in the wreckage, and that was
Right.
really the moment that I really understood that this movie was going to be perfect, and from beginning to end.
I
It
mean,
was
it's one of those
exactly
things
what
where,
you thought it
like, are you guys familiar with the movie Selma? That's the biography about Martin Luther King
Yes.
Jr.
I haven't watched it yet.
I haven't
'Cause
watched
it's not
it either.
on demand.
No, it's not.
I haven't watched it either, but I'm familiar with it.
They say that it's a very, very good character study on Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. But they also say that it is just a tick below Bane.
I was waiting
They
for where
just-
I was like, where's
Where
the
are we going
punchline
with
coming?
this? Yeah.
This was my thing when when this topic was suggested early. I was just like, Colin and I will have nothing to say on this topic, and we will only derail it. And
fine. I
I'm
mean,
glad
that's-
we've established that.
That's what this is, though. Going back to Wolf of Wall Street, I will say that you said Django Unchained. That's my movie of last year.
Great movie.
For sure.
Great movie.
Love
Yeah,
that
really
movie.
fantastic.
That might be my favorite movie of all time.
Got
And
to
I know
see a
that
great
shows
shot
how
of-
young and stupid I
Have
am.
you?
It's fantastic.
And my question for Colin, real quick. I'm sorry, before we get off of Django Unchained there, and you're talking about how much you love Leonardo DiCaprio. Do you know any of the stories behind that? Like when he breaks the glass and he cuts his hand.
Yeah.
Like that just happened. That
Oh,
wasn't on
okay,
purpose.
'cause
And so like to watch that scene again and think about that, where he's bleeding and he's still doing it, and then he wipes his blood all over his face. It's like fuck.
That's crazy, just in the sense that Cheryl and I were talking about that scene, and I was like, and she was like, and it was a good point. She's like, what happened? Like, did we miss? Like, why is his hand bleeding?
Oh, he slams his glass down at one point and it shatters in his hand.
No, I know, but it happened, I guess, quickly. And we didn't realize.
Sure.
Like, and so yeah, he's an actor, man.
Yeah.
And then he did rub his blood all over that person or
Yeah.
whatever, and I'm sure they loved that and they really enjoyed that.
Hey, they'll take it.
Yeah. I will tell you one thing about the Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh,
that
I cut him off. He was making a point.
Sorry,
Well,
continue.
that'll lead into this.
Okay.
So Django, I saw that and I loved it, and then pretty soon after, if I remember correctly, unless I'm totally off on this, Wolf of Wall Street came out. And then I just didn't have enough time because I heard it was super long, and I was just like, I can't watch this yet. But then every single person I know that watched it was like, Tim, this is your movie. You need to watch this because this character is
I agree.
super schemy. Like, you will love him. And I'm like, all right.
So
Is this correct?
Oh, 100% correct. The reason why the movie's so good is because it is a classic return to form for Martin Scorsese. It is. I watched that movie, then I immediately, like, either that night or the next day, watched Casino. And I was like, dude, he's
That's a great movie.
so good at just letting you be a part, like a bird on the wire, to watch this crazy story unfold through, like, and he tells it just these epic tales, and that's old school classic Martin Scorsese,
Right,
where
right.
he kind of lost his way a little bit there. Like, he hadn't done a film like that in a while, and you get, like, Gangs of New York was okay. He just did some really interesting films, and then finally decided, hey, I've got this great character, very flawed character, but very interesting character. I'm going to tell this crazy story about him.
Yeah.
And the way the movie opens, do you guys remember the opening shot?
Of Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
And no, I know that he does blow off somebody's butt, but is that's the opening?
I believe that's the opening shot.
Right.
Yeah.
Holy crap! I need to
So,
watch this
like, he's
movie.
not doing it off her butt. I believe he's putting it in her butt.
Okay.
I mean, if you're gonna,
Classy.
Yeah.
And he
Real
has-
quick, for the fact if we're establishing that that's the opening scene, I then want you to imagine me watching this in one of those, like, the tiny little theaters, like the boutique theaters with the nice recliners and the the with Steimer's parents,
Oh,
who I
great.
convinced to go see this movie.
Yeah.
So it was totally like,
Oh
this is all
man,
me.
I
Was
would have
it-
known. You should have known better.
No, that was my thing, is that Steimer's parents are down-ass parents, and they
Yeah.
are cool, and they understood Martin Scorsese, and they understood it was going to be, like,
Yeah.
violent and sexy, but I don't think a butthole
there's
in the
there's
first
no
scene is
parent
what we
cool
need.
enough for
Like, he
for the
literally has a
butthole.
Coke straw and he's, like, blowing it.
Yeah.
That's explicit.
I had to
So-
watch Scary Movie with my mom, and that was awkward.
I had to watch.
It's a great movie.
What did I watch with my mom? I think I watched Memento with my mom, and she kept getting up to go do laundry and coming back. Memento, by the way, is a movie. I think it's another Christopher Nolan film. No, is it Nolan?
It might be. I think so.
Told backward.
Right, I'm checking.
The movie
Yes.
runs backward. So my mom's like, I don't understand what's happening. I'm like, you stop.
You can't leave.
You're never gonna know. Just
Yeah,
leave.
just-
Just write this one off. The movie
Put this
Wolf
up
of Wall
under the
Street.
losses.
I know. We're supposed to be talking about 2014 films, but you would love
It's
it.
us.
There are
Wolf
he
of Wall
has
Street's technically a 2014.
classic Martin Scorsese main character asides where they stop for a second and just talk directly to you. And there's one in particular that's so good. He goes, "Here's what I'm doing," and he's like, and he goes through his whole spiel of how he's conning people out of money, and he gets halfway through it. And he goes, "Wait a minute, what am I talking about? You don't understand any of this shit. Who gives a fuck?" And like walks over, and then that's when they go into like the midget throwing part,
Sorry, what?
midget tossing. There's
Yeah, it's a
midget
weird-
I believe it's
tossing.
little people.
Little people talking.
I think in the movie they
Pardon
call
me.
it midget
It's a weird-
tossing.
They
but
do,
to be
that's,
clear.
yeah.
I want to give a shout out real quick. I mean, not that I'm a font of knowledge.
He did
about,
do Memento.
about actors, but I really got to give a shout out. Obviously Leo is the star of that film, just like he was the star of Django Unchained, and we waited so long to even see him in that movie. It was like halfway through the movie until you get to meet him, which is so cool. You're like waiting. But Jonah Hill was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
And like
God,
I
he's
didn't
so
really,
good.
I really like. I was telling Charlotte, like, I really underestimated him, like as an actor. Like I didn't know he had that in him. Like that was a really, really good performance.
You know the story behind that, right?
Didn't he like
fought
take like no money?
crazy to do that? Yeah, and he made like nothing off of it.
I heard he
was
made
just
like 60 grand or
yeah.
something.
He was just like he was like hunted Martin Scorsese down and was like, I am from this part of the world. Like I guess he was from Long Island, I guess, or wherever the story actually unfolded. He's like, I'm from where this guy's from. I know who this guy is. I grew up with these guys. Like, you gotta let me do this role. And Scorsese's like, dude, you're a comedian. Like, you're not a serious actor. And he's like, I can nail this, and stayed after it. And after like a year and a half or 2 years, his agent finally called him and said, you got it.
But
He had to agree to do it for like scale.
Yeah,
so he
apparently
got
no
nothing.
money, right?
Apparently he got as far I was reading about it, and apparently he got the SAG or whatever, like
SAG minimum.
minimum wage.
Yeah.
But then he got back end
Yeah.
royalties on
Yeah.
it.
He was great in Django
SAG
too.
minimum's like it's like I don't know what it is now, but it used to be like I think it was like 200 a day or something like that, maybe 500.
Yeah, he like
max.
made, I think they said he made 60 grand like upfront off the movie, which is like dick to an actor of that caliber or whatever.
Don't mean nothing.
That's half a day shoot on 23 Jump Street.
Yeah, hell yeah, yeah. No, he made it back in other ways, I guess. But yeah, that was a really extraordinary movie, and you know what it reminded me of, and I know you'll appreciate this, Nick, specifically. I don't know if you guys have seen the movie because it was kind of like a little under the radar, late 90s, early 2000s. Because it's the same theme in the same place, takes place on Long Island, in the movie Boiler Room. I don't know if you- and that movie is awesome. That movie's
so
really
good.
Ben Affleck's in it. It's got like a weird cast, but it's
Giovanni
about
Ribisi.
it's about
So
guys
good.
out east on Long Island that are running this like totally
not
fucking
Ponzi
illegal
scheme,
penny stock kind of scheme. It's a really almost the same story.
Yeah.
But it's like a little more low budge, and it's about like it's really interesting. It's about a guy. They find him. He lives in Queens. He's like running an illegal casino out of his house, and they convince him to like go be with like their stockbrokers out east. Vin Diesel's in it.
Vin Diesel's in
Good.
it.
Dom.
You'd like it.
I think people out there would really enjoy it. It's
I
called
think
Boiler Room.
Ben Affleck's only in it for like the first scene or something.
Yeah,
They got him
he
to be
gives
in
an
it.
awesome speech.
He throws his like, those are the keys to my Ferrari.
Yeah,
right? It's
yeah,
very
exactly.
Glenn Ross.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And he's like, he says something which I thought was the funniest thing. He says, one of his lines was, "People who say money is the root of all evil never had any."
Yeah.
And that line like always stuck with me. I was like, that's interesting writing.
You're like, I'm gonna base my life on that.
Yeah.
One day I'll quit IGN and start a business and maybe we'll see.
So I recommend that movie. But yeah, I think with the exception of Dark Knight Rises, the best movie of 2014 was. And I'm kidding.
I
Anthony.
think-
Don't tweet me. I know Dark Knight Rises didn't come out last year.
Yes.
It might as well because it was
should
still
have.
just on the forefront of my mind.
On the logic you have, neither did
No,
Wolf
no.
of Wall Street. So
Most people saw Wolf of Wall Street in 2014, though.
I
I'll wager to say they only had 6 days to see it in 2013.
That's true because it came out at Christmas, right?
Yep.
Yeah. It might as well be a 2014 movie.
That's why I said I'm gonna allow it.
There's another film that came out that I always forget about because it came out. It was one of those on the cusp. They released it. I think they released it like right in January, maybe February. I could be wrong. Watched it on demand. Was disappointed that I couldn't give this movie more money. Like I almost want to go buy it because it was that good and unique. It's called The Grand Budapest Hotel.
Oh, see, everyone. I've seen so much about this, but I haven't watched it.
It's a Wes Anderson film. Wes
Yeah,
Anderson,
who
of course.
I used to be so into.
He has hit the pinnacle of his art form
Really?
with this. And I am not being pretentious or facetious in any way, shape, or form. This movie is so utterly endearing. Like it is. He did Moonrise Kingdom. He did the Life Aquatic, Royal Tenenbaums. None of those films had this movie's sort of heart and soul to it. And they had their own heart and soul, but they weren't as accessible as this is. This hit on such a unique and just deeply sentimental note for me.
Nice.
And anyone that I know that's watched it was just like far and away best, most emotional movie of the year to me.
Wow.
It's so well done, and the style of it, because he uses miniatures for everything, and like all the cameos of all the guys that he's worked with, including Bill Murray and Owens. What's his name? The guy that looks like Fran.
Oh, Jason Schwartzman.
Yeah, Jason Schwartzman. All these guys are in this, and you're just like, it's so. And Ray Fiennes is the main character, and he just knocks it out of the park. It's so good. Definitely watch it. Pay to watch it, for Christ's sake. Give Wes Anderson some money.
That's the thing about, like, I like Wes Anderson films in general. Like I said, for some reason I fell off. I think Life Aquatic didn't hit for me personally. Like I was such a huge Rushmore fan. You know what I mean? I like Bottle Rocket too.
Bottle Rocket's the best.
And then it was one of those things of like, for some reason it just deviated enough for me where I didn't keep up with it. And like, I like the idea of, I love that when you find a director who has the cast he loves or she loves, and they find new. It's like a toy box, right? You put down this toy box and you put those people in different roles and do different things with them, and you know them so well. And that's one of the reasons I love Kevin Smith's stuff so much, because he uses the same people over and over in different ways, does all these different things.
I agree, and this is one of those where you can tell they all came on set. And I mean, even the guys that just come cameo, like Bill Murray's, he's in the movie, but he's only there for a little bit.
Yeah.
He's fabulous, like just phenomenal, and it's because he's just. It's like when you call an old friend that's one of your best friends, and you just pick up that conversation right from where you left off.
Yeah.
Know how
That's
you
Bill
been,
Murray.
why haven't you talked to me? But like every single person in this movie is like that, and the movie's so weird, and it's a movie. It's kind of a movie within a movie. It's a person retelling the story as he's like coming to it, as he's visiting like the hotel, the Grand Budapest Hotel, like now, and being told the story of its famous concierge, which is Rafe. I gotta work on my Jeff Goldblum.
I can't do it, Jeff Goldblum and all.
Anyway, I don't want to go on and on about it. I don't want to spoil it. It is a very singularly unique movie, and you should all watch it.
Before we move on, was 22 Jump Street this year?
Yeah.
I think it was.
I
got to give a shout out to that. It's definitely not movie of the year, but man,
You have
that
fun with it?
franchise is something special. Have you caught up on this?
No, I haven't watched the movies. I mean,
Have you seen the first one?
No, I never saw the movies.
I saw the
show.
first one, and I was let down.
Really?
Dude,
I think
that movie makes me laugh
by the
so
time
hard.
I watched it, I think expectation had been set so high.
Because that's the thing. Like going into that was one of those ones where it's like, all right, this is a shitty comedy movie.
Yeah.
We went into it
So
just
funny.
like, oh my god, it's so funny. I think it's extra funny for us because we make videos and we make comedy.
Yeah.
And, like we try to do
We
that.
try to make comedy.
And like so many of the jokes are so meta and just so like kind of breaking the fourth wall and just like joking about the writing and joking about that stuff.
Right.
I just think it's so funny. And like the second one, it's like it took itself so not seriously as a sequel. Like it took that whole idea.
It was very
of-
self-aware.
It
as
was
a sequel.
self-aware and like, oh, it was so good.
But still, they still had. This is what I appreciated about the movie, is it felt like the first one. It's not like if you go back and watch Ghostbusters 2, for instance, right? It doesn't feel like the same movie. They waited too long. They don't have the chemistry anymore. You can see there was some. I don't know if it's infighting or maybe they're just slowing down a little bit.
It was the fact that they had gotten older, and that's something I remember very distinctly them talking about on that Oprah episode. And I remember I had a bone to pick with Oprah because she wouldn't let me in to see Ghostbusters in person. And that was one of the things I remember that interview they talked about, is the fact that we've all gotten older and none of us smoke, and we're all a little bit bigger and we're all a little bit, and it's like that, you know what I mean? Like that was the thing. It was
that's right. They were all like cigarettes, like these giant 100s hanging out of their mouth the entire in scenes.
What about the Twinkie? Yeah.
Where he's like, he's walking and he's got the famous scene where he lets the cigarette go and just hangs on his lip for a second. It's burning. I'm like, oh my god, that's so good. But yeah, they if you're gonna do a sequel to a successful comedy, for Christ's sake, do it the next year.
Yeah.
Do it before, like even Channing Tatum now,
Don't think
he's
too hard on it.
evolving. Like this movie Fox Sketcher that he was in, which was an interesting film. I'm gonna say interesting. I will let people come to it on their own. I did not particularly. I don't know what to think of that movie. It should be good, but I did not like it.
Okay.
Beautifully made. Maybe it's just the story's really fucked up. The John DuPont story, how he, well, anyway. But I don't think he, you got to catch the zeitgeist and you got to ride that wave. And then I'm sure the third one, which apparently is it still supposed to be some sort
I
of
hope
Men in
it's
Black?
Men in Black.
and that's
man.
so perfect. Like
Thank
the
you.
third one's a funny crossover movie with a franchise that makes no sense.
No sense.
That's what that franchise is about, and that's so good.
It's true.
And you were saying Jonah Hill is like what the hell? This came out of nowhere. Same thing with Channing Tatum. Put those motherfuckers together, and
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Like Channing Tatum went from just like. Oh, it's the
joke.
random Hawkeye
He
and
was
dance
a
movies
joke.
that girls like and like guys make fun of, like Justin Bieber style, you know? And now he's like fucking hilarious.
He's on point.
You know what
He's so good.
That Tatum on point
we've talked about Tatum a lot
because we love him.
in our life.
Yeah.
I probably talked about Channing Tatum and Vin Diesel probably way more than any man who considers himself a heterosexual should. But
No, it's Hemsworth that really gets you going.
Daniel Craig,
Dindy Craig.
That's true too.
The hell was I just talking about?
Channing Tatum.
Channing
How
Tatum
much you talk about Channing Tatum?
he's unabashedly, like, he's very humble. I've read multiple interviews with that guy who's like, I don't know how to act. I don't know why people like me. I'm just excited that it's happening, and I'm gonna ride this until it crashes to the shore.
I'm familiar with that.
And he has he's gone from, it's very much akin to the Fast and the Furious series, where it started off as a complete joke and now is a staple in my life.
Yep.
I cannot live without it.
That's a very good way to put it.
And I need more of it every day.
So
Yeah.
it's 3:00 right now.
Okay.
You have a call.
I do.
Do we need to pause again? Or do you want to power through? I have a podcast at 3 with Max J. That's Maxplosions on Twitter. MaxPlosions. He's giving me a 15-minute buffer if I'd like to take it, but I don't know what your call dictates.
I can do, as soon as she calls me, I'll have to leave. She's calling
That's fine.
me, so we
All
can
right, that's
keep
easy.
going. Oh, no, that was it. That was the call. So, oh no, it was 38 minutes ago.
We can close it out on
Let's
our own.
I say, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. We'll close it out.
I have 15 minutes. We have 15 minutes. My topic is 15-minutable.
Well, let's go. Let's do one more time.
But
She
we
hasn't called me.